Hey everybody, today I'm going to show you how to add FAQ schema to your blog posts or your pages inside of WordPress. And the reason why you might want to add these is that it's no secret that FAQs are working really well when it comes to visibility in AI search tools like ChatGPT and Perplexity. So by the end of this video, you're going to know how to add FAQ schema to your posts and pages inside of WordPress. So let's get into it. All right, there's going to be two main ways I'm going to show you how to add FAQ schema to your WordPress site. The first way is with manual HTML code, which don't worry, that might sound scary at first, but it's actually pretty easy. But the reason why I want to show you how to do it this way is it will be the most universal way depending on the theme that you have, right? This should work for almost every single theme as long as you can add custom HTML code. So I'm going to show you how to use the native Gutenberg editor inside of WordPress to do this. And the second way I'm going to show you how to do this is by using a plugin. Now I want to put this out there right now that adding FAQ schema isn't just going to magically blow your site up and get tons of traffic and visibility inside of AI tools. It's more of just a best practice, something that might help move the needle a little bit when it comes to AI tools, searching and parsing the information on your website. Now let's talk about Google for a minute. Google's really smart. If it sees a heading in your page that says FAQ, Google is smart enough to know that the content that follows is question and answer type content. But tools like ChatGPT and Perplexity aren't quite as advanced as Google when it comes to reading pages, and adding FAQ schema markup could potentially help you in coming up in more visible conversations inside of AI tools. So now that we got that disclaimer out of the way, let's start with the first method, which is the manual HTML method. So in this example, I'm going to use a blog post that I made recently about why SEO still matters in the age of AI search. So if I scroll down to the bottom of this article, typically FAQ sections are at the bottom of content. So this is where I'm going to put the FAQ section that answers a couple of questions. And the main tool that we're going to use to help us to come up with this, since I'm not a coder and you're probably not a coder either, is we're going to use ChatGPT, which is free and it will do coding for us, so that we can literally just copy and paste right in here and everything will work great. So the very first step is to copy and paste the content that you have on your page or post. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that, and then we're going to open up ChatGPT. So now what I want to ask ChatGPT is I want to think about this a little bit, right? AI knows what it wants. So I'm going to say, what are 3 to 5 FAQ questions that would be AI optimized for this content? And I'm going to put a colon, and then I'm just going to literally paste the content from that page. So ChatGPT is going to think about this for a minute and give me 5 AI optimized FAQ questions that I could put into this article. So now that I have these questions and I like them, I could go through them, I could edit them, but just for example purposes, I'm just going to show you how to put these in there. I could ask ChatGPT to convert these FAQs into custom HTML that I could insert into WordPress using the Gutenberg editor, which is stock. It's the default editor. That's the editor I'm showing you, with proper FAQ schema. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. And now this is where the cool part happens, is ChatGPT is going to actually code this for me so I can just copy and paste this into my article. And what's unique about schema markup for FAQ specifically is there is schema markup for the question and there is schema markup for the answer. So it's not like it's just something that can sit at the top and the bottom of the block. It's actually integrated into each question and each answer, which is why if you were to code this manually, it could take you a lot of time. So you can see here that ChatGPT has actually made the code for this. So if I look through, I can see the headings, I can see the answers, and if I go down, I can actually see the schema markup, right? Here's the schema type, which is question, and here's the schema type that is answer. So it's actually done this pretty well, and we can test this right now. So I'm going to go ahead and click copy code inside of ChatGPT, and then we're going to pop back over to the Gutenberg editor. So if I wanted to put this right underneath this section, I'm just going to click here and hit return. And if you hit the backslash, it will ask you what sort of block that you want to put in the Gutenberg editor. So if you type in the word custom, you'll see that there's this custom HTML block. So now that I'm in this block, since I've already copied the code, I'm going to now paste the code in that ChatGPT gave me, and I'm going to go ahead and save my post. Now, once the post is saved, we can preview it and see if it actually worked. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the view post. And so here's my blog post. So if we scroll down to the bottom, you can see here that it made an FAQ section and it has the questions with the answers. So now let's make sure that the schema markup is actually working correctly on this. One easy way to do this is just to right click on the page and go to view page source. Now when this comes up, don't worry, your eyes don't need to roll into the back of your head. This is very simple. We already know that it created an FAQ section. So I'm just going to hit Control F inside of here and I'm going to type in FAQ and hit enter. And now I can see the FAQ section that it made with the code. So here's the HTML code, but if I look down here, here is the actual schema code that it put in here, the schema markup for the questions and the answers. So on its very first try, ChatGPT did this correctly. It added the FAQ section and it added the answers. Now, if I don't like the answers just showing here, or if there's not enough space here, I can actually solve that pretty easily. If I go back to my post, all I need to do is add an extra return space here, hit save. And now if we go back to my preview post, we can see that it will add a little bit more white space between the FAQ heading. So if I hit refresh, you can see now that we have just a little bit more white space for it to flow. Now, what if I don't like the content just always showing here and I want it more in, say, an accordion type of format? Well, ChatGPT can do that for us as well. So if we go back into ChatGPT, I could say, could you make it so the answers come up once they click an accordion toggle? And now ChatGPT is going to take a look at this and rewrite the code to work in more of an accordion type format. So this is cool. It's writing it right now. It says, absolutely, here's a Gutenberg ready accordion version using native accessible code to paste into custom HTML block. So if we look at this code, we'll see that we still have, the schema markup that's in here. And once it is finished, I'm going to go ahead and just copy this code now. We're going to go back to our post that we're editing. And I'm going to open up this, custom block. I don't want to accidentally leave some existing code in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete this block and we're going to start over. So I'm just going to click the / custom HTML block. Now I'm going to paste this in. We're going to hit save. And then I'm going to go and click preview again and we'll see what this looks like. So now if I scroll down to the bottom, boom, look at that. Now I have a very nice looking accordion. It's still using the schema markup, but now I have to click and toggle these to get the answer. I like that better. So I'm actually going to just kind of leave it that way, but I wanted to show you that you can continue to iterate the code that ChatGPT is writing to get it exactly the way that you like it, right? However you feel that your users want to consume that information. But the best part is that the schema markup is there. And so because the schema markup is there, tools like ChatGPT, Perplexity, and things like that might be able to parse this a little bit more easily to be able to pull this into potentially a conversation that somebody's having with it. So that's how you put manual HTML code into WordPress with proper schema markup for an FAQ section. And before I get into the next method, which is how to use a plugin, there's something I want to share with you really quick. It's clear that you're already investing time to learn more about SEO and digital marketing because you're watching this video. And that means it's time for you to take the next step, which is to join our free school community. By joining our community, you get access to courses and resources, and you get the support from other like-minded business owners or marketers inside of our community. So what are you waiting for? Join our free community by clicking the link in the description below. All right, so the next way I'm going to show you how to add FAQ schema markup is by using a plugin, and I'm going to show you how to do it today using the Yoast SEO plugin. Yoast has a free version and a premium version, and the features that I'm going to show you today are on the premium version. So I'm going to show you exactly how that feature works so that you can make the decision of whether or not it's worth it to you. So if you don't have Yoast, just go to the plugins section inside of WordPress, and when it comes up, you're going to want to click Add Plugin, and then you're going to want to search for Yoast. And it will be this very first one that comes up by Yoast called Yoast SEO. So once you have Yoast installed, when you're inside of your Gutenberg editor, you'll see this Yoast icon now at the top right. So if we scroll down into the settings, you'll see that there is a content blocks section. So if we click that, there's a couple of unique blocks here. The first one is this AI summarize block. And if we go up to the very top of this post, you'll see that I have it right here where AI or Yoast plugin is going to read all the content on your post or page, and it's going to create an AI optimized key takeaways section, which is supposedly good for AI tools to parse and quickly understand what this content is about. Again, I don't know how much this moves the needle, but the fact that it's something that potentially could help AI, you might as well put it in there if you have Yoast SEO and you have the premium version. So now let's go down to the bottom of our post where we're going to create the FAQ section. So you'll see here that there is an FAQ block that's built in. So if we click this, it's going to create a block per question and answer. So I'm going to go ahead and copy these since I don't want to type them in, but we do have to do it by question and answer. So I'm going to copy the first question. I'm going to put that question into here. And then I'm going to go ahead and find the answer that has to do with this one. Put that in there. So if I want to add a second question, I just click the add question button here. And we're just going to do 2 for example's sake. So I'm just going to grab the second question here from ChatGPT, put it in here. I'm going to grab the second answer and we will put it in here. So now if we hit save and we take a look at what this looks like, if we scroll down to the bottom, you'll see that it just has our questions showing. So it didn't actually create an FAQ heading like ChatGPT did, but that's really easy. I'll just go up here, I'll enter down, and I'll create a heading block, and we will just call it FAQs, like so. Hit save. And now if we hit refresh on this post, you'll see that we now have an FAQs heading to keep it all organized. Now, what is interesting here is visually, it's not including an accordion like the ChatGPT code did. It's just having the answers here. Now, again, this content with the schema markup is designed for AI to parse and take it and potentially show it in the answers or conversations that it's having with someone. So how it visually looks is kind of up to you. Most people will never see what it looks like on your page if they're talking to an AI agent and they're just getting it from there. So in my opinion, the way that it visually looks isn't nearly as important as making sure that the schema markup is correct. But if the way it visually looks matters to you, you do you. And like I said, Yoast is not the only plugin that will do this. If you're using a theme like Elementor or Divi, there are lots of plugins that are designed for those themes that give you a lot more visual customizability into how these FAQ sections look. And that's how you put FAQ schema into your WordPress site, either doing it manually through ChatGPT or by using a plugin like Yoast SEO. If you found this video helpful, make sure that you hit like and subscribe and turn on notifications so that you'll be alerted when we put out more helpful content like this. And if you haven't done it already, join our free school community by clicking the link in the description below. Now, going over this FAQ schema really lends to the concept of query fanout, which is simply a fancy way of saying how AI looks at content and sees if there's relevant questions and answers that are also included on your website. So if you want to learn more about how to make sure that you're answering all the related questions that AI is looking for when it's looking at your website, then make sure that you watch this video where we go over query fanout in way more detail and show you how you can actually use AI to be able to help you to find where the content gaps exist on your own website. So click this video and we'll see you over there.